Today we're covering the top 5 things that I wish I would have known before I moved to Northwest Arkansas. So, let's talk about that. Hey everybody! If you don't know who I am, my name is Phillip Shepard. I'm a local real estate agent located right here in Northwest Arkansas. If you weren't aware, I actually was a real estate broker located in the dumpster fire, the horrible, the no good state of Illinois. The worst. Anyways, I could have moved anywhere I wanted to in America. I could have moved to Huntsville, I could have moved to Knoxville, I could have moved to Maryville, I could have moved to Golden, I could have moved to Boulder, I could have moved to Boise, I could have moved anywhere. But I chose Northwest Arkansas, and it's by far the best place to live in America, literally by far. If you ever want to talk about why I chose Northwest Arkansas versus anywhere else in America, call me, email me, text me, let's sit down for coffee. Let's talk about, again, why I chose Northwest Arkansas, again, versus anywhere else in America. And also, I want to mention this out there. Always call me, text me, whatever the case is. I always love talking about real estate here in the area itself. I always make time for all my clients and people looking to move to the area. So feel free to call me anytime. I will always make time. Anyways, without further ado, let's jump right into the content. All right, and the first thing we need to cover is actually the weather of Northwest Arkansas. I actually moved, you probably know this, but obviously by the video, I moved from Chicago. Chicago is a little bit more, we'll say, stable in a sense of consistency when it comes to comparison to Northwest Arkansas. Now, I don't mean the weather's unstable here. What I do mean is that literally yesterday, it was 32 degrees and it's mid-March, mid-March, and today it's 75. You see that extreme all the time. Now, the reason being that this happens is because we really do sit between kind of a cold and hot area. You know, Oklahoma is very dry. Northwest Arkansas, you start getting into more humid side of stuff, or not Northwest Arkansas, but like, you know, start Tennessee, that area. And then we have the cold coming down. So we kind of sit in that very interesting area where we can have like 30s and 70s and 50s. And that's kind of like that weird, awkward time, like that kind of weird teenage years where you're like, okay, we're not quite spring, you're not quite, you know, adult yet. So that's where we're existing right now. But the swings are more extreme here than they were in Chicago. I'm not complaining because I'd rather take a 75-day pretty consistently, meaning like every other like 5 days out of the week are gonna be 75 or 70 degrees. That's glorious. And then a couple of them are 50. That's fine. But in Chicago, it was like, hey, is it gonna break 30 today? Is it? Probably not. So I'd rather deal with this. The other part of the weather side is just having more. Now, little side note, there has been a tornado here last year, so tornado is definitely a thing. But before that, there was really never any issues with tornadoes. Like, you just go back in the record keeping, never really existed. No damage, nothing. But last year, there was definitely but there's a tornado in like Rogers, Bentonville area. Took a lot of trees down, took some houses down. Not fun, not enjoyable, not cool. But coming from my side, it's like I dealt with that stuff all the time. In Chicagoland area, it's like tornadoes are like pretty common. Wisconsin, Iowa, Southern Illinois, that kind of thing. So very common. So coming here and having this my first tornado, I was like, okay, what are you gonna do? Welcome to Illinois. So seeing that happen, I was like, okay, that's fine. But from weather side, usually it's pretty stable when it comes to tornadoes. Like they don't really happen based on data. And then the other part of the weather side is actually the enjoyableness of the heat in the summertime. It certainly gets hot here. And it's certainly more humid than certainly than like a California, but it is certainly not nearly as humid as it would be like in Illinois. Illinois and that whole Midwest section was very humid. Corn sweat, all the agriculture, all the Great Lakes, like it dumped humidity into the air itself. And so like you really felt like you couldn't breathe there. Here in the summertime, it does get more humid than probably what you're used to, but again, it's very enjoyable outside. And the second thing I wish I knew before I moving to Northwest Arkansas is gonna be the cultures. Now, what I mean by cultures with an S is that what I didn't realize is how cultural it is in Northwest Arkansas. Meaning, with all the hires of all the companies, people coming from India and Texas and Mexico and Canada and China and all like Australia, there are so many people that come to Northwest Arkansas because of the large businesses that exist here, and they stay here. I've helped people from China, I've helped people from Guam, I've helped people from Hawaii, I've helped people from Australia, I've helped people from the UK, I've helped people from Africa. So like it's just crazy amount of people that have moved to Northwest Arkansas that are definitely not obviously part of that Southern culture. And so it's really cool to be kind of a melting pot in that area where it's like you can get some great Middle Eastern food, you can get some great Greek food, you can go see this Greek thing over here, or this church or that church, or whatever it is. Like the cultures naturally get absorbed here. The people move here, and you start seeing their cultures melding into the area itself. That's why we have a lot more cricket what do you call those things? Fields now. We have a lot more pickleball stuff. We have a lot more soccer stuff. We have a lot more international sports stuff. And so when you see those things happening and moving to the area, it's fascinating to see, because that is not one thing I expected to move here, was just seeing how many diverse cultures exist here in Northwest Arkansas. And the third thing I wish I knew before I moved to Northwest Arkansas is going to be something you're gonna be like, what's wrong with you? Is the Walmart influence. Now, obviously you're fully aware that Walmart exists here, the HQ exists here, they have heavy influence into the area itself. What I didn't realize is that when you put your feet on the ground and you start really digging into how things operate around here, the investments, the grants, the designs, the buildings, the roads, the trail systems, the community events, a lot of it does stem from either Walmart, JB Hunt, Tyson, or the Northwest Arkansas Council. One of those four people, those vessels, Tyson, JB Hunt, Walmart, and WA Council, are going to be intricately connected in some sort of event here in the area itself. The council, they're the ones that's kind of a slush fund of money. They're the ones going around, doing investments. They're working with XNA, the airport. They're working with affordable housing. They're redoing trail systems. They're working on the branding. They're doing all sorts of things that are kind of like superseding the actual parts of the actual cities themselves. Like they're the ones saying, hey, here's the branding for the the Razorback trail system. We're going to be working with XNA to make sure we negotiate the best prices for airlines. So then we have Walmart, JB Hunt, Tyson, which are definitely heavy investors in the area, whether it's buildings, architecture, whatever, they're heavy investors. But what I want to say is that I 100% knew Walmart was a big investor to the area, but seeing how it all works together is something I did not expect to see, the intricacies and the influence here in Northwest Arkansas. Whoa, 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 whoa. I made something for you. I made something called 3-day itineraries. So maybe you're looking to check this place out. Maybe you're looking to come down here, maybe vacation, maybe just, you never know. I made 3-day itineraries, like literally day by day, restaurant by restaurant, thing by thing. So maybe you're an adventurer, maybe you're a sports person, maybe you're a foodie, maybe you're a sightseer, maybe you have kids, whatever it is. I have 3-day itineraries linked down below for you. So go ahead and download them and use them when you get down here. Also, maybe you are using things like Realtor.com, Zillow.com, or Redfin. Way too slow. Notifications, way too slow. That's why I made something called Instant Home Updates. Sounds exactly what it is, literally is Instant Home Updates. So enter your information below, name, bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, where do you want to move to in Northwest Arkansas? Enter all that information below and make sure to miss a single notification when it comes for home for sale or for rent, all in Northwest Arkansas. And every single Friday, I send an email out just talking about all the cool things happening in Northwest Arkansas. What's going on downtown Bentonville? When is First Fridays? When is First Thursdays? What's going on in Fayetteville? What's going on downtown Rogers? What's going on in Pinnacle? What is going on in Walmart Amphitheater? What new golf course coming here? What's going on at Topgolf? There are so many things all the time, all the time. Enter your name below, enter your email below, make sure you get that email every single Friday, but I need you to be aware, I need you to just heads up here. You will get a little fear of missing out, little FOMO, so to speak, but I promise you will be the most important person eventually when you make it down to Northwest Arkansas. And the fourth thing I wish I knew before I moved to Northwest Arkansas is going to be the community events. Now, this is going to be based off my past experiences. The community events I went to were not, in Chicago, are kind of like, you're to yourself, you don't talk to anybody, you're kind of always suspicious, like, what are you looking at me for? Why'd you rub up against my arm? Like, you check your pockets. So it's like, I just didn't have the best attitude walking in here. And I'll just leave it at that. But when I actually got used to the community events here, the farmers markets, the downtown sections, the first Fridays, the first Thursdays, the music events, you start realizing that it's much different here than probably anywhere else in America. And you can ask any person that has ever moved here, they're all gonna say the same thing. People are so nice here. And you see that happen in the community events. You see that when you talk to random people in lines. But when it comes to actual community events, it makes it so much funner because everyone's so friendly. There's no one doing stupid stuff. They're all there with their families or kids or with just by themselves. And they're just hanging out, enjoying the area itself. And that's kind of the theme for the area. Is like we're all here melding together, trying to build community, trying to build relationships. And why would I be an annoying person when I can just be enjoyable and talk and share my my things I want to do, my hobbies, and talk to people who are all doing the exact same thing, trying to make the best place to live here in America, right here in Northwest Arkansas. And the fifth and final thing that I wish I would have known before moving to Northwest Arkansas is going to be the food scene. If you're looking for American cuisine, top tier, next level, like Michelin stars, you can find one or two I would consider like that's really, really good. And so I don't think Northwest Arkansas shines in like just a breadth of high quality American cuisine. And that's fine. I think there's a lot of great restaurants out there. I love them. I love a lot of them. The thing that I'm most impressed when it comes to Northwest Arkansas is the depth or the breadth of everything that you want. All the way from, and that's part of the reason why there's so many, again, going back to cultures, is that you can have some of the greatest Mexican food. You can have some of the greatest Indian food. You can have some of the greatest Mediterranean food. You can have some of the greatest Egyptian food. You can have some of the greatest Middle Eastern food. You can have some of the best UK, whatever. Like there's restaurants galore for all sorts of groups here. So it is nice knowing the best Japanese food. So some of the ramen here is fantastic. Anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm getting hungry too. The best thing about, one of the best things about Northwest Arkansas, again, isn't necessarily the best burger. It's the breadth of the amount of diverse restaurants that exist here. Now, I do admit, you might have to go knock on doors, go into Google, like where are these things at? They're not going to be like on Walton Boulevard. They're going to be in like a strip mall, but that strip mall has the best Middle Eastern food that you might ever had in your entire life because their family moved from, literally from, let's say, Saudi Arabia or something, which I know these people, moved here, they work here, their family moved here, and they want to open a Saudi Arabian, like a restaurant, and like, it's the best ever. So stuff like that happens all the time here in Northwest Arkansas. All right, that's all I have for you guys today. Again, if you have not been down to Northwest Arkansas quite yet, I made something called the NWA Starter Pack. Sounds exactly what it is, literally a starter pack full of all the cool things in Northwest Arkansas. It comes with a 120-page guide, literally made by me, by yours truly, page by page, basically detailing demographics, cities, populations, all the cool things that's going on here. So basically it's your go-to guide for all the things about Northwest Arkansas. 120-page guide. It's a real thick boy, to say the least. Then it comes with my 3-day itineraries, printed right in there. It comes with stickers, it comes with postcards, and just wait. It comes with the NWA coloring book. Wow! Anyway, who doesn't want this thing? It's amazing. I mean, are those times you just sit at work and color? You shouldn't be doing that, but maybe you want to. Anyways, coloring book, fantastic. Long story short, it comes in a box, literally shipped boxed right to your home. Enter your name and address below. I'll make sure you get that package shipped to you right away. Also, side note, it does come with your first free mountain bike, so that's pretty cool. And I know what you're thinking. It's my favorite for F word. Free! So enter your information below. Make sure to get that package shipped to you right away. Alright guys, it's the next one.